Okay, so the news is Danny Boyle and Alex Garland are going to be teaming up for a sequel to 28 Days Later. So not 28 weeks later, but a sequel to 28 Days Later, because they didn't really have a hand in 28 weeks later. Now, the story is that they've put together the script as a package deal, and they're going to try and start a bidding war. Now, the bidding war and all of the scripts, well, the script is essentially to try and start a trilogy of sequels, right? Which on its face, you look at and you go, that's great, because 28 Days Later is an incredible film. It was done on a budget of $8 million. Tiny chump change, right? In 2002. It's a fantastic film. I genuinely really like 28 Days Later. Here's the bad news. Has anyone read this yet or not? Does anyone know anything about this?
No.
Okay, cool. Right. So the budget for 28 Days Later was $8 million. Okay. The budget for 28 Weeks Later, a movie which wasn't massively well received, quite frankly, was $15 million. Okay. Now, these guys are coming back, hardened, they know Hollywood, they've been in it for a while. What do you think the sort of proposed budget is for each of these films?
I hope it's low, but since you ask that way, I presume it's going to be way higher than it has any right to be, and we need to be worried about studio interference for that very reason.
Give me two guesses then. What do you think it should be, and what do you think it's going to be?
I think it should be from $20 to $30 million per movie. I'm afraid it's going to be $60 million per movie.
Okay. Any other guesses?
Yeah, I'm going to say it should be. I'm going to be a little higher than Andre, but I think it should be about $40 million in budget because of the recent increase in expenses because of all of the new contract negotiations.
Yeah, this is true. I'm stuck in 10 years ago.
And I think it's probably going to be closer to twice that at $80 million. And I think that's going to make the films too expensive.
Okay.
I would say it should be like 15 to 20 million per movie. But I think it will be $1 billion per movie. No, but I'm guessing probably they're looking at spending 100 to 125 million per one on this.
Okay. Close. So the proposed budget is $75 million per movie, which is outrageous. It's way too much. It's way too much, and it's going to be a fail. It's going to be a massive fail. The budget for each movie. Oh, I don't know what happened there. The budget for each movie would be in the $75 million range. It's too much. It's way too much. They made the first one for $8 million, $75 million each for 3 movies. They're going to need to gross $200 million plus to start breaking even. It's way too much. It's what are they doing? It's obscene. It's stupid. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the idea of them coming back to make these movies. I think that's great. I think it's fantastic. Would I like, another Danny Boyle directed zombie flick? Yeah, 100% I would. Absolutely. Maybe they can convince some more sort of hardened actors to come back on a lower paycheck as favors, because these guys have been around for a long time. But $75 million, where did you get that from? I understand if it's supposed to be 28 years later, which is the thought process, and it's an apocalyptic wasteland, but you could do that by renting a fucking quarry.
Yeah.
It's not hard. There are plenty of ghost towns around that you can rent out. I say plenty. There are enough, right? $75 million makes it sound like there's going to be copious amounts of CG.
Shoot it in China where they're destroying the ghost cities right now.
That's true. Well, let's not give them any more money. They don't need more money.
Yeah. Well, what studio is this going to be under?
It's not. They don't know yet. because
Oh, okay.
it's being shopped out. This is what they're
Oh, gotcha.
proposing to buyers. And this is what I don't think people are going to buy it.
I wouldn't if I was a studio. No way. I mean, what was the last film that came out? Was it? It was 28 weeks.
Weeks later,
yeah,
with a $15 million budget as well.
and that was too much.
Yeah, it was. I think ultimately, given how things have changed, right, the movie should have no more. I mean, absolutely top end budget should be 50. Top end budget should be 50.
Man, it should be. It shouldn't even be that high because I
agree. Honestly,
Yeah.
I agree. But dependent on talent, right?
Yeah.
Depending on the talent, I guess, and that's me trying to be, play devil's advocate. But $75 million for a horror movie.
Yeah. If I was a studio if I was a studio interested in this, I would go to these guys and say, look, let's be realistic here. The last movie in the series that came out grossed a little over 65 million worldwide.
That's ridiculous.
So we're going to give you a $20 million budget. If the first one hits 100 million, if it has good word of mouth and you guys knock it out of the park with the first one, we will then increase your pay for the next installment after that. But we are not giving you no 75 million on a movie that last brought in a little over 65. That doesn't make financial sense at all.
No.
I don't know how you justify it. Yeah, you're right, Nick. I mean, it just you aren't going to make this money back. You just aren't.
You're also not going to get a trilogy. They're going to make one, and it's going to fail, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they would have teased another movie, and it would go nowhere, and then everyone loses out because they overshot a budget.
It's going to be embarrassing for everyone.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they don't. Why is this not obvious to them?
Well, and again, it could be being pushed by WME. They've been, look, Endeavor is in a weird financial place where they're trying to take them private now. So, because it's WME's William Morris, Endeavor.
Probably that's what I'm thinking too. That here's some agency or someone that's like, okay, we're going to fight for the big budget here because we don't really believe in this. Because here's the thing: probably the creatives, they just want to see this thing made, and then you have someone else somewhere along the line, some agents most likely, that decide, okay, I don't really believe in a trilogy here, but I believe in getting maximum payday out of this one. When it fails, don't care. I already got my money onto the next one. And so often when these things happen, that honestly is the reason why. I mean, you have a mafia, well, you have several mafias in Hollywood, but one of them is the agents, and they do stuff like this.
Well, it's the agents plus actors. So the actors set up their own producing houses. So they start producing movies to other actors, which are the same agency that they're tied to. And it's just this cyclical loop of cash flow. Just keeps it all in-house. It's ridiculous. And then, they'll be like top tier agents working for very specific studios. It just keeps that money flow all in the same circles. It's a joke. Look, I really like the concept of this. It's just, this is a terrible idea for 75 million.
Yeah. But hey, at least you're going to get one more movie out of it. I hope that it's not going to end on a cliffhanger.
Okay, I probably will, though. Probably will. But there you go. There's a non-Star Wars news for you all, ladies and gents. Non-Star Wars news, which we will get to.